Folks, today I'm going to tell you the most macabre story in all of Greek mythology. And that's saying a lot. It's about 50 sisters who turned their wedding night into a mass massacre. The story of the Danaids is about family revenge, blind obedience, and one of the most frustrating punishments in Greek hell. It all started with a family feud that lasted generations. Danaids and Aegypti were twin brothers, sons of Belus. But since childhood, they hated each other. You know that sibling rivalry that only worsens with age? It was exactly that, only taken to epic heights. Aegypti ruled Egypt, no surprise there, right? And had 50 sons. Danaids ruled Libya and had 50 daughters, the Danaids. It seemed balanced, but the trouble was just beginning. When the cousins grew up, Egypt had an idea he thought was brilliant. How about a mass marriage? My 50 sons with your 50 daughters. That way we'll unify the kingdoms. It seemed like clever family diplomacy, right? Wrong. Danaids had a prophetic vision and discovered the sinister truth behind the proposal. Egypt didn't want to unite the families. He wanted to eliminate the rival family. His plan was for his sons to kill their wives after marriage and inherit everything from Danaids. It was basically genocide disguised as a wedding party. Danaids was terrified and told his daughters, "Girls, your uncle wants you to marry your cousins, but it's a trap. They're going to kill you all." The Danaids panicked. "Father, what do we do?" "We'll run away," Danaids said. And the whole family took ships and fled Libya straight to Argos, Greece. But Egypt wasn't going to give up so easily. He sent his 50 sons after his cousins with an entire war fleet. "Either you marry for good, or we'll invade Argos and marry for evil," was their ultimatum. The king of Argos was faced with an impossible situation. Either hand over the Danaids or face a war he could not win. Danaids realized there was no escape and devised a diabolic plan. "Fine," he said to the sons of Egypt. "My daughters accept the marriage." Egypt was jolie. He was finally going to eliminate his rival brother and take everything. The grandest wedding party in antiquity was organized. 50 couples getting married at the same time. Imagine the logistics. 50 wedding dresses, 50 bouquets, 50 cakes. It was the wedding of the century. But before the ceremony, Danaids secretly summoned his daughters. "Girls, I've figured out how to get out of this." And he gave each of them a sharp dagger hidden in their wedding clothes. "You're getting married. Go to your bedrooms, and when your husbands are asleep, you kill them." Guys, imagine the girls' shock. Their father was asking them to commit murder on their wedding night. "Father, this is crazy," some protested. "They're our cousins. What if we can't? What if something goes wrong?" "It's the only way we'll survive," insisted Danaids. "Either you kill them, or they kill you. There's no third option." In the end, 49 of the 50 sisters agreed to the plan. Only Hypermnestra, the eldest, was dubious. And then the wedding took place, which was actually a mass ambush. The party was beautiful. Music, dancing, and abundant food. Egypt's children were over the moon, thinking they had gotten everything they wanted. Each couple went to their bridal chamber, and then the horror began. One by one, the Danaids waited for their husbands to fall asleep and knife. The massacre was simultaneous. In 49 different rooms, 49 men were murdered by their own wives on the first night of their marriage. The palace became a slaughterhouse. Blood everywhere, bodies scattered. It was a scene from a horror movie. Except there was one exception. Hypermnestra looked at her husband, Lynceus, sleeping peacefully beside her, and couldn't kill him. He looks so innocent, she thought. What if his father is wrong? What if Lynceus really loves me and has no intention of killing me? She hid the dagger and let her husband live. The next morning, she woke him silently and told him everything. Lynceus, my father told me to kill you. He said you planned to murder us. But I can't believe you would do that. Lynceus was in shock. Hypermnestra, I swear I would never hurt you. My father must have lied to my brothers about his intentions. I really love you. The two fled together before Danaids discovered his daughter's betrayal. But the other 49 sons of Egypt were found dead. The plan had worked, or almost. Danaids was furious with Hypermnestra. You disobeyed a direct order. You put our entire family at risk. But before he could punish his rebellious daughter, the gods intervened. The Danaids had committed a horrible crime. They had broken the sacred laws of hospitality and marriage. Murdering one's own husband was one of the gravest offenses against divine order. When they died, they went straight to Tartarus, the most terrifying part of the Greek hell. And the punishment was brilliant in its futility. Each of the 49 murderesses was sentenced to fill water jars. But the jars had holes in the bottom. The water leaked out as fast as they filled them. It was eternal and completely useless work. They spend eternity carrying water, filling containers, watching it all leak, and starting over again endlessly. The psychological torture is perfect. They have the delusion that they will be able to complete the task, but they never do. It's eternal hope and frustration. But Hypermnestra, who disobeyed her father and spared her husband, was forgiven by the gods. She and Lynceus lived happily and had children who became famous heroes. The moral of the story is complex. On the one hand, the Danaids were defending themselves from a real murderous plot. Egypt really wanted to eliminate them after their marriage. On the other hand, they committed mass murder based solely on their father's word. They didn't try to talk things out. They didn't look for alternatives. And Hypermnestra, she was the only one who followed her heart instead of family paranoia. And she was rewarded for it. The story shows how hatred between families can destroy entire generations. Danaids and Egypt turned their own children into weapons in a personal war. How often does this happen in real life? Families passing on trauma and prejudice from generation to generation? Parents making their children pay for fights that never even started? The Danaids were victims and villains at the same time. They were right about the danger, but wrong about the method. And this eternal punishment with the leaky pots? It's the perfect representation of how violence begets more violence, creating endless cycles of suffering. Would you do like the 49 murderous sisters or like Hypermnestra, who chose to trust in love? And more importantly, is it possible to break toxic family cycles, or are we doomed to repeat our parents' mistakes? Leave your comments and subscribe for more stories about how family decisions can last forever.